We've been here before, fighting the problems that fight back. But we can shift the status quo, because we see opportunities where others see obstacles. We're change makers and problem solvers, uniting over 1 million minds to address complex issues facing communities around the world, including yours. With passion and purpose, we've led the efforts to put an end to polio. Now eradication isn't just possible, it's plausible. Every day we're investing in a new generation of leaders so we can continue to provide access to clean water, tackle global health concerns, support education, and build the foundations of peace across borders. We're working together as partners and professionals while making friendships that last a lifetime. We're Rotary, and there's no limit to what we can do.
Welcome to the Rotary Club of Tulsa, where Tulsa's finest business and community leaders come together to do great things here and around the world. What a nice, big, energetic crowd we have today. Maybe it's because yesterday was National Pancake Day and everyone's filled up on pancakes? Yeah? So let's take a minute and say a quick hello to each other and maybe share what your favorite kind of pancake is, huh? Okay, we've got a busy meeting, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Hey, Jules. So Katie Johnson's going to lead us in our invocation today. Jerry Dillon will lead us in song and pledge, and then Tony Oliva will introduce our visitors. Katie.
Let us pray. Almighty God, thank you for your presence with us and within us. Keep us mindful of the needs of others and help us to see the opportunities you put before us to use our time and talents to ease suffering. Sometimes those opportunities are met quietly by our fellow Rotarians. Sometimes we meet those opportunities through our collective undertakings as we strive for the betterment of our community and mankind. In all we do, we are grateful for all you have given us. Bless this food and this time of fellowship. Amen.
I'd like to express to our newspaper how much we appreciate your front page articles about those who have served our country. It's exceptional. Let's sing My Country 'Tis of Thee, Sweet Land of Liberty. My country 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the Pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside let freedom ring. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hello and welcome to the Rotary Club of Tulsa. We're Club 2500 in District 6110. I've got the privilege of introducing our guest today, so I'll be reading the host Rotarian and the guest name. If you'd stand for just a second when I do read your name, we'll hold our applause and welcome everyone at the end. Beginning with, we have Roberta Preston, has Missy Burche. Bob Reed has Paul Davis. Phil Viles has Brian Burke. Mac Finlinson has Ross McKinney. And Sarah Lorenzen, our Rotarian of the Day, has a couple of guests, Ashley Parrish and Mike Strain. Paul Cornell has Tracy Pretty. Charles Hembry has Clint Barker. Diane Peacock as her husband, Craig Jenkins. Vic Bailey has Kate O'Leary. And Mike Neal has two guests, Justin McLaughlin and Jim Morgan. Please join me in welcoming them today. We have two visiting Rotarians from South Side. Larry Boyer, our Assistant District Governor. And from Sunrise, Carol Orr, who is the polio co-chair and our incoming Assistant Governor. Hi, Carol. Thank you for joining us, and please come again.
Thank you, Katie, Jerry, Tony, and Tom on the piano. We always appreciate your skills, Tom. And welcome visitors. Thank you for joining us today. We hope you'll consider joining our club, and if you do, you'll get to work alongside Tulsa's finest business and community leaders, and I promise you, you're going to make some great lifelong friends while you're serving your community, so we'd love to have you join us. And welcome, Larry and Carol. Appreciate you all being here today. Yeah. I want to thank this week's meeting sponsors whose sponsorships help defray the costs of running our club. Doug Padgett with Pendergraph Systems, sorry, Doug, and then Chuck Wilson with the Associated Mortgage Corporation. As always, we encourage you to do business with your fellow Rotarians. And in addition to today's sponsors, let's thank our meeting volunteers who help this meeting run so smoothly week after week. Thank you, volunteers. So, some announcements. We have get well cards on the table for Dick Cantrell. He's been under the weather. He's getting better, but could probably use some nice sunshiny get well wishes from us, if you don't mind jotting a note to Dick. He would appreciate that, I know that. Yearlings, please mark your calendars and plan to attend your first Yearling University meeting Tuesday, March 13th at the 810 building, which is also known as the Synergy building at 8th and Cincinnati. If you have not already RSVP'd to the office, please do so. Get in touch with Tina, please, our new executive director. Yay! Yay! You only get one standing ovation a month from this club, so yeah, please get with Tina and let her know you're going to be there, so we can make sure we have lots of eats and drinks for you. The Medical Supply Network workday for our club is March 10th. That's a Saturday from 8 to 12 in the morning. MSNI needs our help to sort through medical supplies and pack them up and so they can send them to a third world country. I encourage you to join me. I just signed up myself, and we need lots of help. So you can either sign up, there's a sign-up sheet on your table, or you can get with the good doctor, Tim Caldwell. He'd be more than happy to take care of you. I don't know if Tim, you here today? Yep, there he is in the back. Hey. Yep. We'll get lots of help for you, Tim. And you can bring family and friends too. Man, they're going to provide donuts and coffee, so it'll be a good time. So our annual meeting with the Oklahoma City Club is coming up. We talked about this last week. It's scheduled for April 3rd. Put that on your calendar. Our very own George Kaiser is going to be speaking to the Oklahoma City Club that day. So let's get together as large a club as possible and go show Mr. Kaiser how much we love him and appreciate him. So if you're interested in and able to do that, please get with David Downing or Alicia or Tina, and they'll get you signed up. There's going to be Oklahoma City Club's putting together some activities, I believe right before the meeting and maybe right after. So we'll have a great ride there and a better ride back. Nothing against Oklahoma City, but that's what I get for going off script, huh? Okay. Yeah, I know. Camp Enterprise is coming up. I attended a great meeting with Camp Enterprise Committee, I think it was last week. They're rocking and rolling. If you know a high school junior, lead them to our Camp Enterprise website, www.campenterprise.com, and get them to sign up. And then the camp is April 5th through the 8th. And I would encourage you to block that time on your calendar because Camp Enterprise Committee is also recruiting camp counselors right now. We need some male and female counselors, and if you can help out during that time, I promise you, you will have a great time. You'll have a great time. So I encourage you to see if you can fit that into your schedule. So last night, I got to hang out with the Rotaractors. And I got to tell you, if you ever need an energy boost, go to their Facebook page and hang out with them. They got together last night at the Tulsa Children's Museum. Is that right? And which was awesome. But then it was even funner afterwards. We got together and had some libations and played a little trivia. I had to leave early because of getting too close to my bedtime. But it's a fun group, and they don't mind us Rotarians hanging out with them, so they kind of like having us around, I think. So I would encourage you to join them. Okay, we're going to try something new right now. Greg, you here? Head on up here, buddy. So here's the thought. Rotary was started by Paul Harris. He asked 3 other business people to get together because he wanted to learn about other people's businesses. He was new to Chicago, trying to drum up some business, and so he thought, well, I'll get some people together and we'll learn about their businesses. That's our genesis. And I always thoroughly enjoy, when I get to know new Rotarians, learning about their professions, you know? I know engineering is like the profession that's so exciting and everything. But there are other exciting professions out there I find too, and I always enjoy getting to know about those. So I thought what we'd start doing through the end of the year is have what we're going to call a vocational minute. And so we're going to allow you to give your elevator speech about your vocation for 1 minute. No more, no less, 1 minute. Pressure's on, Greg. And so we're going to start out by offering this to our meeting sponsors. But if you want to join in, get with Paul Ballman, and we'll get you signed up. We've got a list started already. Greg Keck was kind enough to volunteer to be our guinea pig.
I didn't know I was the first.
You are the first. You're number 1, buddy.
I do. The emphasis was on 1 minute.
The floor is yours.
Thank you. My name is Greg Keck, and my classification is automobiles affordable and valuable. But the timing of this couldn't be better because we just last week opened up our new Infiniti dealership at 8825 South Memorial, and that complements our other dealerships, the one at 93rd and Memorial that sells Mercedes-Benz, Porsche, and Maserati, and then of course our Nissan dealership at 98th and Memorial. So, the new Infinity store, that, like I said, we just opened, was built by our fellow Rotarian, John Stava. So if you're in the area, stop in. We'd love to see it, take a tour and get an impression of what we do. So as far as what we do is basically sell automobiles. So we love to do business with Rotarians. So thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Greg. Very good. Yeah. Everyone needs at least 3 or 4 cars in the garage, right, Greg? Absolutely. Greg, I know from personal experience, Greg and his people take super good care of you when you show up there. I mean, you get the red carpet treatment. So thanks, Greg. Okay, committee meetings today. The IBA committee is meeting in room 233. They could use some help if you're so willing. And then above and beyond, we'll be meeting in room 231. This is their final meeting before the next week. Okay, now we're on to Sarge time. Sarge, where's Charles? Charles!
It's that time of year. Look, basketball, madness, my phone queued up to the right energy song. All right.
Hey, I like the outfit.
March Madness.
I like the outfit there, buddy.
I'm about as tech savvy as you get. I've got a phone playing music right now to make sure everybody's energized. Katie, you're energized, aren't you? I can tell how energized you are. Is everybody ready for March Madness? Yeah. Good.
What's that? Kansas Wesleyan dance.
Yeah. Well, what happened was I played baseball in college, but I didn't play basketball.
Okay.
But I was recruited to dance.
Oh, really?
And it was
So
only
in addition to singing, you danced.
I danced. It was exciting. It's the Methodists know how to dance over there.
boy.
This is
We know
Salina, Kansas, and they invited me to dance and on a scholarship. I was so excited. I didn't know the only scholarship money was really for this shirt.
Oh, that was it, huh?
The shirt and the shorts. You like the shorts?
I love them.
This is retro, baby.
Yeah.
Do you remember doing this back in the day? When I was in college playing ball, everybody had to wear shorts over their sweats. I have no idea.
I appreciate you wearing the sweats.
I'm a team player.
Yeah.
You know, I know. We're in church and we've got to be careful. So,
Yes.
All right, absolutely. All right, well, it is March Madness, but we still have some Sarge duties to do. Last October was my birthday, and on my birthday, Mr. David Downing decided to do a Marilyn Monroe video, which was really put me on the spot, because I'm usually not, this is for you all, right? So I tried to duplicate that, and nobody would have anything to do with it. So I wore the dance outfit. So David, come on up here.
Uh-oh. Paybacks, buddy.
David is 60 today.
Whoa, nice.
Love you, man.
Thank you.
All right, so you ready for this?
I don't know.
Well, you better be. I'm going to...
Are you singing to me?
Oh, we're doing a lot more than that, baby. Come on, chickie baby. You got to hang with me. All right.
There he goes.
Oh, David, you're so fine. You're no longer 59. You're 60. You're 60. Oh, David, you're so fine. You're no longer 59. You're 60. You're 60. Hey, David, you've been aging for so long since this day in 58. You think I've got it wrong, but I double-checked the date.
Don't look him in the eye.
I know, this is the hard part. I'm not used to have somebody so close to me.
There you go.
It may be tough to turn 60, but I swear it will be great. Oh, David, what a pity. You must understand, it's 60, it's not sexy, and you'll never get a tan. Oh, David, what a pity, you can understand. It's guys like you, David, who make 60 the new 40. I must shout out, oh, dear Lordy. Oh, David, you're so fine. You're no longer 59. You're 60. You're 60. Oh, David, you're so fine. You're no longer 59. You're 60. You're 60. One last time. Oh, David, you're so fine. You're no longer 59. You're 60. You're 60.
Oh,
Hey,
Woo!
you're a pretty good dancer there, Charles.
All right, that's
good.
Make
You
sure I
were-
can still
you were in
breathe.
that sweatshirt there.
Yeah, you know,
That's nice.
I'm in the best shape of my life.
Good moves.
Absolutely. I got more moves than a bowl full of Jell-O.
I got an idea we're going to see that video again somewhere down the line here.
I don't even think they got a camera guy up there. Look, there's not even anybody in the camera. That's how scared they're even.
Laughed, huh?
Yeah. All right, but the show must go on. Next up, okay, well, back to you, Mike.
Not the most beautiful baby.
I figure he just started a tab for Emmy Kate picks, and here's the little baby already sitting up at what, 1 month old?
Well, actually, you just don't see Dad's hand leaving the slide there. She's
Oh,
not
okay.
up yet.
All right.
She'll be walking probably end of the month here.
Well, based on this, I'm assuming we're going to raise about $1,000 from you if we're going to send me these picks all the time.
She's worth it.
Okay.
Every penny.
All right. Just want to make sure I'm starting the tab.
Isn't she
All right. We continue on.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
What?
Can't we leave that up there longer? You got more slide? Oh,
Okay.
okay.
I got people actually pay me cash up front. I got to move on, Mike. Thank you, President Mike.
We're gonna move on.
But that is cute.
You can come back to that one.
All right. Next time you can be in the picture propping her up. All right, here we go. Our good friend Brian Jackson. $50. He's reelected to Sand Springs City Council for like the, what is it, number 7? Where's Brian? There he is. How many times was it? How many? 3 times? Three times, and this will be your 4th. That's awesome. Rotarian, taking care of things in Sand Springs. Very proud of you. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Appreciate it. Good looking pick of his kid, too. All right. And then our Sarge pick of the week. You know, we have Above and Beyond coming up. And this picture, if you can see here, you can kind of guess what the policeman probably came out and said to the person in the truck, saying, I don't want to jump all over you, but. So anyway, pick of the week. That's where I think some people about 3 o'clock in the afternoon driving. Oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
All right. Now let's segue into something a little different. My friend Becky, come on up here. It's March Madness. She didn't get the garb thing, but that's okay. Come over here and talk a little bit about what's coming up and what's in the past.
Okay, I will, Charles. But first, we have to recognize a couple of winners from our recruiting contest in January. And is Joe Moore here? Oh, Joe. Yeah, Joe. Okay. See me afterwards. You win a prize, Joe. You can choose from the Kate Spade purse or an executive detail for your car. So see me afterwards. And also, Kara Gay Neal is our other winner, and I know she had to be gone today. But good job, and thank you to everyone who sponsored in new members. We had 6 new members join in January. Okay, back to the next fun thing that we're doing. So March is March Madness, and Charles has already kicked us off well. So you will see on your table a roster, and we are dividing you up into teams because we're just kind of competitive that way, and we want to, you know, compete against each other for some reason. It's the theme of the month. We're going to have one winner at the end of the month, but we're breaking into teams. We are accepting walk-ons today and today only. So sign up on your roster, on your table, and we'll be giving you out to team captains, and we'll be having teams divided up for the month. And this is how you score points for your team. 1, you attend. That's easy enough. 2, you bring a guest. That's easy enough. Or 3, you sponsor a new member during the month of March. And there are prizes for, or incentives for your guests. Again, we're doing one last time, $200 off membership for the month of March. This has been so successful in helping you guys recruit new members, so we wanted to bring it back one more time. So just during the month of March, if you sponsor a new member, then you'll get extra points for your team, and then they'll also get $200 off. So there'll be prizes all along the way and fun to be had, and he's involved, so, you know, it could get weird.
And we're going to have a trophy.
Right now.
Is it right now
It's
already?
right now going to
Okay,
get weirder.
okay.
We're going to have a trophy too, aren't we, Becky?
Yes.
Nice, cool trophy.
About as
And
tall as me?
bragging rights.
Maybe taller than you.
Well, that wouldn't be hard. You know?
Maybe.
Yeah.
We're looking.
All right. So are we ready to do some announcing?
Yes, we
Okay. So as we know, we have 6 captains, and they're going to team up. So if you haven't signed up a team, I'm trying to give you some incentive to pick the team that you feel most comfortable with. Right, Kip? Thanks, baby. All right. Here we go. So we got to do this right. Lynette, there we go over there. Okay, hold on. You're coming up. Here it comes. Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, it is my honor and privilege to proceed to the, gosh, I didn't bring my glasses. Present to the hundreds in attendance and the millions around the world the most dynamic lineup of incredibly short history of Rotary Club of Tulsa's March Madness. Woo! That's exciting. I can't even say it once.
Can you repeat that, please?
It wasn't as impactful without the glasses. You should just offer me yours. Okay, here we go. First up, hailing to be the best in the world at what they do, Lynette Potter and Potter's Perfections. Right. So there you go, team one. Next up, the Ayatollah of rock and roll, always in time with rhyme, Justin Carlton and the Justin Times. He can't be here today. Oh, thank you very much. Look at this. Life is so sad, isn't it? All right, now we're going to get crazy. All right, for the benefit of those with flash photography, Mary Stratton and the Stratifactions. Again, think of your personality and which direction you want to go in. All right, here we go. This is the big one. The most genetically jacked, athletically stacked giants walking today, Kip Lycum and Lycum and Elliott Lovem. Oh, this is an oldie but a goodie. Can you smell what the Chuck is cooking? Chuck Wilson and Chuck's Angels.
Nice.
They knew these were going to be announced and they head for higher hills, I understand. And last but certainly not least, the eighth wonder of the world and the miracles of ironic mayhem, Monica Martin and the Marvelous Martinettes.
Nice.
Where is she? Has she left early? I don't know, Becky. You got to work harder on keeping these people surrounded.
You guys better join their teams because
Yeah,
clearly they're already
support.
starting off a little slow. But the competition starts next week, so bring your guests next week. On March 1st, we have a great lineup of speakers for the month, so we'll be emailing you some of these details, and your captains will be checking in with you. So bring guests. Thanks.
Rotary up.
Rotary up. Thank you, Charles. Thanks, Becky. I want to step back for a minute to Rotaractors. If you've got your latest copy of the Rotarian magazine, you notice that March is the 50th anniversary of Rotaract in Rotary. And and so what we want to do, Jake Dollarhide is our liaison with our Rotaract Club, and he does a fantastic job with them. And he had the brilliant idea, I think, of he wants to collect these magazines when you're finished reading them, and then we're going to donate them to the Rotaract Club because they don't necessarily get these, okay? So if you've got yours, if you could bring it next week and give it to Jake, he'll make sure we get those to the Rotaract Club next week. Okay, Tricia, IBA Awards announcement.
Thank you, President Mike. Greetings, fellow Rotarians and friends. I'm going to speak to you from my heart today. So this morning, I got up, washed my hair, drank my water, took a shower, turned off my humidifier that gives me cool, misting air all night. Isn't that a first world luxury? Thought nothing of all the water I was using until I thought about our friends who went to Nicaragua last week. We've been drilling wells, preparing to drill wells, and drilling wells down there since the year 2000. Can you imagine being on that team, going to Nicaragua, drilling down deep, and finally the water comes up. Water people can drink, it's potable. And so they don't have to go to the faucet like me, they can walk 2 blocks or a half a mile to water instead of 3 miles every single day. Every single one of us in this room, we drilled that well because we're Rotarians. We are larger than ourselves. That's why I'm a Rotarian. I couldn't drill a well by myself, but our club does, and I thank all those who go down there. Another thing I've been able to do, because I'm a Rotarian, I joined in the year 2002. I've gone to 17 IBA dinners. I'm not a big sports fan. I don't really necessarily follow sports, but the stories of inspiration I hear every year, if you've gone, you know what I'm talking about. story, courage, determination, a story from a young athlete of their mother who raised them and made them get out of bed every day, overcoming incredible economic hardships, or the story they tell of their coach, the only person who ever believed in them. And then they're standing on the podium and we get to listen to them and we walk away so inspired and thinking about, gosh, what could I do? What could I do in my community, right? Well, all the funds we raise from that dinner go to our foundation. And the leaders in our club who manage our foundation grants, they drop that inspiration all over Tulsa. There are so many organizations, nonprofit, community groups, so many of you are a part of it or know about them, that we have funded from the IVA dinner, from Charles' crazy antics, that we drop that inspiration. I mean, Big Brothers and Big Sisters and Divis. There's just so many. I have a list here. I guess I could read it. But anyway, you know what I'm talking about. So I want to thank those who've already have given us their leadership gifts and have already sponsored a table or bought a ticket or made a sponsorship. I want you to stand up, please. I know there's a lot of you in the room. If you've already bought your table, your ticket, or your sponsorship, stand up. Greg.
Come on, don't be bashful.
Come on, I want
There you
everyone to
go.
see who you are.
Yeah.
You guys think there's more. There's more. Where's Curtis? There's more. So I thank you. And I want everybody else in the room to see who they are. Now, if you're on the IVA committee this year, I want you to stand up. And there's a lot of you. We have a great team this year. Turn around, let everybody see who you are. Look at these people. They're working hard to make it, thank you, you guys. They're working very hard to make this year, our 25th year of the IVA dinner, a smashing success. Now, our goal this year is to bring as much back to the foundation as we can. So we've cut some expenses. Don't worry, it'll still be a really awesome dinner, great food, wine, inspiration. But be a part of it this year. Buy a table. Go to your employer. See if they'll sponsor something. Carol will be outside. There's sheets on your table. Take it home with you. You'll also get an electronic copy next week. Think about what you can do to fund what we do. The dinner is our shared experience that night. If you can't make it, I'm sorry. You should try to make it. You'll come away with an increased appreciation for the values that we share with one another, with the athletes that are there, with our community. So your call to action is be a part of it this year. If you can't make it, there's a little place for sponsorship, or maybe you could sponsor a new Rotarian to attend the dinner. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Tricia. Very well said. June 8th? June 8th? 18, sorry, I had part of it right. Okay, June 18th, yep. Okay, Roberta, Above and Beyond Awards, our big program next week. Roberta's committee has been working hard and they've got everything pulled together, ready to go.
We have. Thank you, President Mike. Next week is the Above and Beyond Award. For those of you that aren't familiar or haven't attended, it's where we honor the police officer and the firefighter of the year. These are the first responders that put themselves in harm's way for us. And as we look at what's happened across the nation in the last few weeks and the last few months, we really have to value them and thank them for what they do. It's a very inspirational time. I encourage you to bring guests. This is a great time to get points for your team, Becky, but really motivate somebody to understand what Rotary does. We also have a special award this year for the first time, named after our late Rotarian, George Hamilton, and it's a very, very special award. So I encourage you to come, bring guests, and honor the people that put their lives on the line for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Roberta. Okay, Rotarian of the Day today is Sarah Lawrenson. Sarah is Marketing and Research Director at the Tulsa World Media Company, which is a part of the Berkshire Hathaway Group. In her role, Sarah oversees event development, audience acquisition, market research, and community relations. She was one of 20 picked from 6,000 employees to be on the CEO's Executive Council to address opportunities and create innovations for the company. Sarah joined our club in June of 2016, and she's been very active. I know she's serving on the IBA committee. I think you're on the communications committee, and I think some other ones too. I think she's signed up for about 3 or 4 committees. But for me personally, she was very actively involved when I got together a group of people, golly, a year and a half or so ago, to look at our strategic plan and give us guidance, give this year's leadership guidance on what initiatives we should be focusing on. And she was a very active participant in that, and so I appreciate that. Please join me in welcoming to the podium Rotarian of the Day, Sarah Lawrenson.
Thank you. Bill Masterson Jr. is president and publisher of the Tulsa World and vice president of the South region for Berkshire Hathaway Media Group, overseeing media companies in Oklahoma, Texas, Alabama, and Florida. Bill started his newspaper career as a youth carrier for the Daily Oklahoman, where as a carrier, Masterson was selected in 1976 as Parade Magazine's Young Columbus Carrier of the Year. That year, he was also awarded the Key to the City of Lawton, Oklahoma for outstanding achievements as a youth. Prior to joining BH Media Group in May of 2013, Bill was an operating vice president for Lee Enterprises, overseeing media companies from New York to Oregon. Bill became one of the youngest daily newspaper publishers in the nation when he took over the helm at age 26 of what is now the Black Hills Pioneer in South Dakota. At age 57, Bill has been a daily newspaper publisher more than 31 years. In 2012, Masterson received international recognition as being named Publisher of the Year by the Industry Magazine editor and publisher. That's a big deal. Masterson is particularly proud of his work in Northwest Indiana, where he led efforts to unite a diverse region, creating a movement called One Region, One Vision. This movement brought leaders with different racial, political, and economic interests together to identify regional issues and discuss solutions for the common good of all residents. Masterson also chaired a $6.1 million campaign to remodel an abandoned school in Gary, Indiana, into a thriving campus, providing hope to that city's youth. Bill and his wife, Julie, reside in Owasso. They have 6 children and 7 grandchildren. Please join me in welcoming Bill Masterson.
Thanks, Sarah. Appreciate that. When she asked me to talk here about fake news, it was interesting. It's something we all know about, we hear about, and it's something that's particularly concerning to us in the media business, in the mainstream media business. So we're going to have a little bit of fun, but we're also going to have a couple serious things that I wanted to share with you. But can I add that? You guys are going to get your phones out here in a little bit. But fake news, you hear about it from everyone, you know, whether it's true and whether it's fake. There's really 2 meanings of fake news. One is a false story that appears in the news, usually spread via the internet to websites and social media. There's a second one that I'm going to talk about that, quite honestly, to me is a little more dangerous than that happens when it comes to traditional news, and I'll get to that in just a minute. But what I've got is I've got 3 slides, and I'm going to show them to you, and I want you to tell me if this story is true or not true. And now the first one I'm going to show you, this is where, and I'm sure you guys are all aware of the Treaty of Paris that was signed 119 years ago. It expires in 120 years, so next year, this is where we are to turn over Puerto Rico back to Spain. This is President Trump with Mariano Rajoy, who's the president of Spain, and they're having the discussion, Associated Press photo. Second one, Michelle Obama arrested for domestic violence. We had to throw a snowball in here for you, or softball. And then the third one, a young girl visiting with her parents and her grandfather disconnected her grandfather's life support plug-in so she could plug in her phone. So, hands. What's true and what's not true? Anybody? How about the first one? Anybody know of that? True? It's fake. How about this one? Fake. Okay. How about this one? True. That one's fake too, but you know what? I had to ask. I had to ask. In fact, and this is real news, Princeton study, the number of American adults that visited a fake news site around the time of the election was 1 in 4. So 25% of this audience visited a fake news site and gathered information off of that. And it's just not fringe people. It's not just the ones that are uninformed, but it's a lot of highly educated and informed individuals that are being duped by this. I've got a list of a few fake news sites that I wanted to share with you here, but the most important thing, and you're going to probably hear this through the course of this discussion, is the most important thing you can do is consider the source and verify it. Verify, verify, verify. That first slide I showed you, that was Associated Press photo. I mean, that was a real photo. Fake story, real photo. But these are some of the sites that are known to post inaccurate information. Infowars.com, thegazette.com, Empire News, thebostontribune.com. In fact, I was in a meeting between 8 and 9 this morning, and I had visited with an individual and was sharing some information on that, and they said, well, Boston Tribune, I know that paper. There's no such thing. But if you're not in the media, you probably wouldn't know that. And then yournewswire.com. Ryle News is something that is, you guys have probably all been on this site, because this site has a very large readership. Here they're talking about South Carolina unveiling their new flag. Below is a story about Tom Brady and Deflategate. But if you read down at the bottom, it'll say down at the bottom caption, it says, are our stories real? Yes, if you believe fake news stories. You know, the other definition to me is what really, really concerns me with society today, and that is fake news is coverage that is sympathetic or unsympathetic to a person, organization, agenda, cause. And that's where, you know, if I was to ask, and I'm not going to ask people to raise their hands on this, but you guys in here are probably watch Fox News or you watch CNN. And if you were to look at that, you know, if you're a Fox News reader or watcher, you know, you're going, that's all right, and you know what? You don't know why those idiots over there on CNN are doing that. It's so wrong. It's fake news. And if you're a CNN watcher, you're doing the same thing. How can Fox News get away with that? What's happened with the internet is exactly what's happened with some of the national broadcast media. And that is, you know, the hope was with the internet that you would have so much more opportunity to go out and learn and educate yourself about other thoughts, other perspectives on things, other information. But what we found as the internet has started to mature is that instead of people going out and looking for more information, what they're doing is going out and looking for information that validates their own thought process, regardless of how off the mark it is. And so, you know, and that's where today you're getting so many people that, you know, if it's said by Fox News, then it's gospel. And if it's said by CNN, it's gospel. And that all depends on your personal beliefs. And you know, the one thing that I would challenge individuals is, you know, I don't care whether you're a Republican, Democrat, conservative, liberal, doesn't matter. Spend time listening to the other side, regardless. Because one of the biggest problems we have today in society is that people keep drinking from the same well, drinking the same Kool-Aid, and the divisiveness that we're seeing because of that in our nation, it doesn't matter whether it's at our state house or our country. And I'm going to show you some other examples of some things that are pretty serious when it comes to that just happened last week. You need to, and I guess that's the one thing when I have people that are griping at me because they don't like, I'll have 6 people telling me that they don't like my paper because it's too liberal. And then I'll have 6 people telling me they don't like my paper because it's too conservative. Well, that tells me then that what we're doing is trying to provide both sides. We may not want to try and tell you what to think, but what we want to do is be able to provide the information. And it doesn't have to be our paper, it could be any paper. Read and study your source. Don't just drink the Kool-Aid. In fact, is this true or not? This was on Fox News. It said, Oxford study says Trump supporters share more fake news is fake news. I don't know. It's an Oxford study. Now, if you go on and you look at that, the story's going to be a little different, but it's technically true. But that's one of the other things that I tell my writers is that, you can be technically true, but if you tell the truth in a way that it leads individuals to think something that's actually true, that's as good as a lie. And that's what happens sometimes on the national streams. What they do is they tell you the truth. They just maybe don't tell you all of it, and they leave out things that cause you to think more the way that they're trying to get you to think. Please know your sources. In fact, last week, and this is very, very sad, last week in the massacre that happened at the high school in Florida, within an hour of that happening, the Russian bots were out sending propaganda all across the country. And if you don't know what a bot is software that runs, that's automated, and it continues to repeat tasks on the internet. And so what has happened is our enemies, this happened to be Russian intelligence, was sending things to pro-gun people talking about how horrible their stance is, and we're sending anti-gun propaganda to them. And then they were automatically sending pro-gun propaganda to anti-propaganda people to inflame us, to get us madder at each other. This has happened, it happened repeatedly in St. Louis and with some of the race riots that we had, where the individuals that they're sending stuff out on both sides. So, you need to consider the source. Just because you read something or see something on the internet doesn't mean it's true. And quite honestly, it could be coming from a, quote, legit newspaper source or TV source, and it could be nothing more than fake news somewhere that's designed to infuriate you, to make you madder at the other individual. They're doing that with Republicans and Democrats. They're doing it with the African Americans and whites. They're doing it in Syria right now. Russia has got their bots working on both the pro-president and the anti-ones. What are they trying to do? They're just trying to cause havoc, and it's succeeding. So be very, very careful. In fact, I hope this works because, a lot of times, and Mike Neal's a prime example of that, he's always going to have his phone out. If you guys have your phones and you have a Facebook account, why don't you pull your phone out and log on to Facebook and search. My wife's not going to be very happy about this, but I'm going to try it and see if this works. Go to Facebook, and then search my name, Bill Masterson, so you can get onto my feed. We're going to build a fake news story. I'm going to show you how fast we can do this. So here's a react365.com. Allows you to post fake stories, blah, 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 blah. And you can put in description, you can do whatever you want. And so I've got Sarah, we're doing it right now. And so I put in a fake headline. We're putting in a fake headline right now. Again, I hope the internet works or this is going to bomb. But sent this thing that my wife, Julie Masterson, named Grandmother of the Year, 2018. All right? Now in the description, she's typing, Julie Masterson was named 2018 National Grandmother of the Year. The panel of judges, which was made up of her grandchildren in South Dakota, along with 2 soon-to-be grandkids in Iowa and Indiana, were involved in the unanimous decision. This comes on the heels of Julie being slighted for Mother of the Year in 1994. That year, Masterson was a clear favorite to win, but having 2 teenage girls in the house at the same time caused dissension and confusion among the voting. Masterson wasn't going to let that happen again, so she made sure all the grandchildren were spoiled rotten before the election. I go on to then say this is obviously a fake news story. Don't get me wrong, if there was a contest like that, I'm sure my wife would make it, but this is being used as an example in today's Tulsa Noon Rotary Club. So put that in. Now we're putting in a picture. This last weekend, we took our grandkids to a concert. This isn't all of them, but some of them, and that's the quickest thing I could get. So we just put that in. So now why don't you hit create and publish, Sarah?
Okay, it's done. So, and I shared it on Facebook.
You shared it on Facebook. Now, I'm flying blind here, so I don't know if that has come up yet or not. But did you put it on mine?
Yeah, I posted it to Facebook. I'm looking at your Facebook feed right now, and I'm not seeing it.
Okay, well.
It's there.
It's there?
It's there.
Okay.
It's there. It's on Facebook.
It's on Facebook. So it took about a minute. While we finish this, while you have a chance, let's see how many people respond to it, like it, comment, do those kinds of things. And you know, and we're having fun with this, but this took seconds. This took seconds. And individuals can put anything out. And it's going to wind up showing shares. It's going to wind up, and it's going to have all this false information that's not true. And, you know, we've all had these meetings, and I've only got a couple more minutes, so I need to go quick. But we've had these things where, you know, you tell one person, and then it goes around the room, and it's all the way back, and it's something else. Well, that's what happens on the internet. So by tonight, I'm going to have somebody saying that, you know, congratulations, Julie, you won this award. This is the greatest thing in the world, because they probably didn't read it all. And then you're going to have people that are complaining. So if you're on there and somebody wants to shout out if anybody comments or anybody likes it. So what do? Well, we try to be right first. We'll brag on the Tulsa World a little bit. We were contacted by PolitiFact. PolitiFact, we were one of 3 newspapers in the entire nation a year and a half ago, or 2016, to work with them to fact check things. It was so successful, they're now rolling it out to other newspapers across the country. It's made some of my colleagues or elected officials not happy, because it is it's an equal opportunity checker, and goes from there. You know, one of the things that we'll do is we make sure that we're accurate. Again, before being first, I want to be right. You know, there was a story the other day about somebody drowning in a pond. I'm not going to name what organization, but boom, they shot it out. Now, how would you imagine if you had a son or daughter that was in that lake and you got that breaking news story? And what happens if you're then driving and you wind up getting in an accident, only to find out, well, that wasn't a body, that was a tire. You've got to be careful. And individuals, I don't care who they are, they need to be careful of what they do and how they push this information out. You know, it's important for us to do that. And we like this. Sarah wanted me to do this. I wasn't real comfortable with it, but I'll tell you, you know, we make it easy. It's like 99 cents for the first month to get this. It's $5.99. A lot of people tell me, Bill, I want to subscribe. I can't figure it out. I know it was really difficult. That's why Mike Strain and Ashley are here. If you guys have a problem with your accounts, they're here to fix it. So Ashley and Mike, you guys can raise your hands. I'm sure there'll be a long line, but they're the ones that can help you if you've had problems getting your subscription digitized, or you do want to sign up for it. I don't care if you read the Tulsa World. Read something. Read something that's independent, that will give you an opportunity to cut through some of this stuff. It's the worst thing we can do is drink the Kool-Aid on any side and not have an objective and free press and a free thought process of what's going on in this world. With that, I'll close if there's any questions, but maybe 2 questions. Go ahead. No, but it's very dangerous. In fact, Google's wanting to work with us, and I was out at Google headquarters this last late summer, and it's scary how much they know. In fact, I'm sure you guys have heard one of the things that was going on when we were out there is parents were very upset at Target because Target was sending diaper coupons to their 16-year-old daughter. And it upset them. They contacted Target. Come to find out it was algorithms. The young lady was pregnant. And based on what she had been looking up, Target had identified that and was sending her coupons. So it is, it knows more and you've got to be careful. You do have to be careful. And, again, that's why I advocate for making sure that you read the other side, that you don't just trust, verify. Anything else? Yes, ma'am. Well, thanks. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Can somebody shout out, did anybody comment at all on the Facebook? Was there any, how many? Or was there any? 8 comments? 8 comments and any likes? 12 likes, and this was like 3 minutes, 4 minutes? Imagine how fast that'll go around. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. We appreciate you taking time out to come share your thoughts. I mean, that's some scary stuff you're talking about, but we need to hear that, right? And I, too, want to echo. I go out every morning and find my newspaper on my front sidewalk, and I'm one of the people that I have your app on my phone, but I still enjoy holding the paper and reading it. So we appreciate everything you all do in our neighborhood. As I said before, a book recognizing your talk here today will be presented to our adopted school, Celia Clinton. And today's book title is I Too Am America. So we've been doing that for several years, and they will appreciate that. I wanted to welcome back our Nicaragua team. Welcome back. We cannot wait to hear your stories. Thanks for, Thanks for making the trip down there. We missed you, but look forward to hearing your stories. Upcoming programs, as Roberta said, next week is Above and Beyond, and bring a guest. That is one of my favorite programs of the year. I think that's one of the nicest things we do for our community is recognizing a police officer and firefighter for what they do in our community. And the week after that, we have Tulsa Public Schools Superintendent Deborah Gist. She's going to talk to us about making Tulsa Public Schools a destination for extraordinary educators. Despite our state's cuts to public education, she will report on the district's drive to attract extraordinary educators who will work with the community and families to ignite the joy of learning and prepare every student for success. So you won't want to miss that. So now, I encourage you, go out, tell your Rotary story, please, and don't forget to bring a guest to Rotary next week. We are dismissed.